Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel and I'm with Abhishek and David as usual. Feels weird saying that for basically the third time today. We are recording on Sunday night, Sunday the 13th. We've done A to D so far, you'll have seen that hopefully by now. But this episode is going through groups E to H and our thoughts on the teams and Gaffr assets there. Hope you found the first video useful. Hopefully we can, even though our knowledge lacks in some areas, at least give some thoughts on some of the assets on groups E to H. Shall we get into it? I mean, I would ask you both how you are, but it hasn't changed since a couple of hours ago or an hour ago. So I'm going to first, in fact, before we get into groups E to H, put on the screen the championship players that are going to the World Cup, as kindly put together by Abhishek. So let me just get that on the screen now. Cool, right, that is on the screen now. So you can see a list of championship players who've been called up as champ. Anyway, I'll go through the list. We've got Horvath for USA, Sargent, Adam Davis, Connor Roberts, Tom Lockyer, Ben Cabango, Joe Allen. This is for the audio listeners, by the way. Oliver Ncham, who's he been called up for? Ncham? Swansea? Who's he been called up for?
Cameroon,
okay.
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah,
Seny Dieng, so Senegal. Mamadou Loum, don't know who he's been called up to.
Loom, yeah, Cameroon as well.
Okay.
Senegal. Loom
Okay.
is Senegal.
Bielik of Birmingham, Elias Chair for Morocco, Njai, Colwill, Cardiff's defender Colwill. Is that right? Are you sure that's the right? Are you sure that's not the right Colwill and it's not the defender for Brighton? Sorba Thomas, Mark Harris, Bailey Wright, Harry Suter, Riley McGree, and Jefferson Benetta. There you go. So these players could.
Yeah, just to add, just Canada has announced their World Cup squad, and I think Junior Holliott is also going. So another championship player.
Good shout. So some of these players may return from the World Cup late, particularly if any of these get to the knockout stages. So it's something to bear in mind for our Gaffr teams. I feel like a lot of these players might well be back after they go out in the group stages, but there will probably be a handful that may stay a bit longer and maybe out of sort of game week 22, maybe game week 23 as well. So just bear that in mind. I need to bear that in mind with Josh Sargent, for example, because I've got him in my team. I know, David, you've got Horvath, haven't you?
Josh Sargent, those who own Chair, Dieng.
Yeah, Senegal players, Njai and Dieng, that they could definitely be a factor, yeah. So yeah, just one to have on your radar in terms of Gaffr. So that's that. Thank you for putting that together, Abhishek. And without further ado, we move on to Group E next, which is Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. Now, do we have anything from Costa Rica and Japan? I mean, I don't.
Brian Ruiz from Costa Rica. He's their captain, so that's it.
Still around, is he?
Yeah, he's still around.
This is probably like one of the teams I most lost on, apart from like Saudi Arabia, Qatar. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, and particularly being in a group with Spain and Germany, I don't see us going anywhere. I mean, there's Brian Oviedo plays for Costa Rica. I know him. And all three of their keepers are 4 million. So again, there could, as with Saudi Arabia, there could be a 4 million starting keeper to stick on your bench.
I mean, there are quite a few English players from English club, I think, for Japan. I think Mitoma, Tomiyasu. So Japan can be another option in terms of defensive players. I think they're cheap defensive players. So that's it for Costa Rica and Japan. Let's talk about Germany and Spain.
I would just say like there's this Japan squad is seriously cheap. Like the most expensive player is 6.5, and that's Minamino.
Yeah.
So there's bound to be some bargains here.
Minamino. Where does he play?
But they're rubbish.
Kamada is 5.5. That's very cheap.
Okay.
Are they rubbish? I've had the impression that they are like okay, but
I don't know.
just because of the group. Oh, Strømsgodset to score. Yes, let's go.
Hey.
Anyway, against Bodø, that's impressive.
Hey,
Let's go. But yeah, yeah, probably not that much, but we shouldn't
For
like write them off.
context, hold on, Dave. For context, those who are new listeners, it's David's team that has scored. Strong Gutset. So
Yeah.
if you're
They're-
seeing
they're
him
like
getting
my,
excited,
It's my city team from where I live.
Yeah.
And they're
So-
playing against I think it's the second or third team, best team in Norway. So them scoring is
so
pretty impressive.
yeah. For context wise, if you are new to our channel, sometimes we get to do this when our favorite supported teams scores. So yeah, Dave, move on, carry on.
This is
Right.
all like in the past anyway, so this is
Yeah.
happened a week ago. Or like traveling back in time for some reason.
Germany
Right, yeah.
and Spain.
Germany, Spain.
I mean, Werner is injured, right? He's not going. Is that,
Yeah, he's not
that's
going.
correct, isn't it? I mean, for me, it's the midfielders. When I look at Germany's squad, I think defenders a bit expensive at the moment. Not sure I trust them. Maybe in the knockout stages. I look at Gnabry and Musiala, and those are the two that I like. Gnabry just because he's pretty, he's a quality player. Doing brilliantly for Bayern Munich. 9.5, I think, is actually fine for him. But Musiala is that potential value
Yep.
at 7.5, which is really appealing, and I know other people think similarly. So I've got Musiala at the moment.
Who's going to play striker for Germany now?
I don't know, honestly.
Probably out of Sane. Out of
Havertz?
Sane or Gnabry, anyone, I guess.
Havertz, maybe?
Yeah, he's played striker
Ish.
sometimes.
My
Müller?
two picks.
I don't know.
Uh,
Seems like he was good.
my two picks will be, as Joe mentioned, Musiala and Kimmich. I still think Kimmich is a good fantasy asset in terms of price. In terms
He's not a defender though, he's a midfielder.
yeah,
Is he
But
attacking
he's on the
enough? Is the question.
I don't think
he's
so.
on the set pieces.
Okay.
He's on their corners, and he will be if he's playing in the midfield, because Germany has lots of defenders now. So Kimmich doesn't play at right back, so he will be playing in central midfield position. So probably the engine room, the navigator or passer of the two. He can be sometimes the assister of the assist for the goals, but his appeal really shines because he is on set pieces and corners. So arguably, if Germany goes through a set piece situation or corner, Kimmich will be the one to provide those balls.
2 goals, 3 assists in the Bundesliga for Kimmich this season. A return
Yeah,
every
it's-
3 games, which is actually not awful. But I'm
Plus-
more of a Musiala fan, I
Yeah,
think.
it's Musiala is my number 1 pick from Germany.
He's only 0.5
Then-
more expensive as well than Kimmich. So.
Spain, what are we thinking?
I would just like say before we go to Spain, like I'm surprised like by Gaffr being 6 million for Germany. That's so much, and I just like to see that players like Müller and Götze is still getting picked, like, with all those young talents. It's it's a bit fun. To see.
A lot of the defenders feel very expensive, and I think it's probably not necessarily true, because normally in most fantasy games you'd see defenders at 6.5. It just feels that I feel like there's probably good value in the group stage in some of the cheaper defenders, so you can really load up on attackers.
How much is Goretzka?
Let's see. Goretzka is 8.
Yeah, it's either Musiala or Kimmich.
Mm.
Let's move on.
So Spain, I feel like a bit of an unknown quantity to me. I mean, firstly, Ferran Torres is a 10 million striker. I mean, that's a bit much.
Okay.
That's crazy. How?
Morata at 9.5 is okay. I don't mind that. I probably won't start with him, but I think he's an option.
Yeah, he's good. Like for to be playing for such a team and not being so expensive. I would like think it would be at least 10. The Torres being 10. I think they're like mistaken Ferran Torres for Fernando Torres and just thought he must be expensive.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's really hard to pick best fantasy asset from Spain because they are so.
Ansu Fati is just only 6.5 though. That's pretty cheap.
That's interesting.
Will he start? Will he start? It's,
On the wing, right?
Simon can be an option if you're looking for a cheap goalkeeper. Simon can be
not
an option,
cheap,
but
though.
he's 6.5. Yes,
Yeah.
6.5, right?
Six.
6.
Mm,
To me, nothing seems. Pedri can be an option.
Olmo, maybe.
But yeah, it's not the Sky game we're playing that for the amount of passes we get points. It's a Gaffr game, so goals and assists needs to be scored.
Why is Eric Garcia 6.5?
I don't know. All Spain's defenders are 6.5, is it?
No, just
no,
Garcia.
it's just him.
Everyone else is 6. Alba, Laporte, Lorente all 6. That's what Quetta 5.5.
Lorente is interesting.
Rest
Does
of-
Lorente play defense or midfield in this team?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Oh,
Because he in FIFA he can play centre mid and right back. So it's
Okay,
and also
want to know. Lorente.
he's gonna play wing back.
okay.
He's going-
So he
he's
should be attacking
playing-
though because he can also play as a midfielder.
Yeah, he's playing wing back for Spain. I think he played in the Euros as well. He in the recent friendlies in International Nations League he has played there. So yeah, he will be playing.
Wait,
Another out of position player.
do they play back 3? I thought they just play back 4.
No, back four.
So, alright, you said wing back, so that made me think back 3. So more of a fullback. Okay. But still, if he's an attacking fullback, we like attacking fullbacks in fantasy football, obviously. So, in terms of who qualifies, Germany and Spain, right? But who's finishing top?
Yeah,
Who's finishing top?
Germany for me.
yeah, Germany.
I agree.
How does it work in the World Cup? Is it like the best third up team? Is that a thing?
Not a thing. Not like those
No,
expanded Euros.
No, it's
Are you
round
sure?
of 16, right? So 8 groups, top 2, round of 16 teams.
Yeah. Okay.
32 divided by 260.
Yep, that is correct. Cool. That's
The best third, I think it will be from 2026 when they expand.
to 48 teams. That I don't like that, honestly.
Yeah.
And groups
And-
of 3. If they do, are they going? I think they're going down the groups of 3 route, which is just awful.
I mean, imagine when we are recording in 2026 World Cup, how many episodes do we have to record?
Yeah. If they do, I can't remember now what the format is. Oh, they haven't decided on the exact format. I don't think. Have they?
Surely they have to make groups of either 6 or 8.
It's got to
Otherwise,
be 4.
48 teams is very.
6.
Watch them make like a league system.
Yeah.
Like Nations League.
Because out of 6, if one group has 6 teams, then that's better, for coverage wise. Because then it will be an elongated World Cup. If you
gonna
have
take ages,
groups
though.
of 4,
It takes so long.
12 groups,
5.
12 group stage matches, 48 group stage matches alone.
For-
Man, that's long.
For me, it's got to be 12 groups of 4, personally. And then what have you got? 12 teams, and then
Round of 32.
so that's 24 teams. So the top 2, and then the best 8 third. Even then, I don't like that because you're sending 2/3 of teams through.
Hence, I said group of 6 or group of 8 is the only way that they can navigate it into within a month.
Oh,
Because-
they've chosen it. Sorry, they've chosen it. It's 16 groups
What?
of 3, and the top 2 go through. That's awful. Absolutely awful.
16 years for Sweden.
It's going to be terrible.
Next, I mean, if they can complete it within 2 months, that will be a miracle.
And
So many matches.
And the other issue is you can't. You know how in the current setup you have the last group game played simultaneously, so there can't be any. There's like the famous example from I don't know the 70s or something where 2 teams knew they needed a draw to qualify and they just played keep ball for a
Yeah.
bit. Like with the three team leagues, it's going to be like that. you won't be able to have the final group stage games at the same time because there's only 3 teams. One team will be sitting it out. It's just awful.
Plus,
It's just terrible.
Plus, there will be not enough stadium as well.
Each team only plays 2 group games, so lose.
Yeah.
So like, it's just awful. Rant
Well,
over.
it's
Let's
yeah. Let's move on
stupid
to group
FIFA and their money grabbing. Group F:
Group F.
Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Interesting group this.
I quite like this group.
I have like my I like Canada because my dad is Canadian, but also the World Cup mode has made it into FIFA now, and I started a save with Canada as my it starts in the group stage and they go to the final, and I won the World Cup with Canada first try.
Well played.
So Jonathan David was like he got 8 goals and Lukaku got 11.
Yeah, Canada just announced their team. I think an hour back, 27 minutes ago. 44 half an hour ago, Canada just announced their squad. Interestingly enough, they have shared Alphonso Davies as a forward.
He does play. Apparently, he does play further forward for Canada. I mean, he's a midfielder in the game at 7 million.
Yeah, he plays.
Yeah, he's a forward recognized by Canadian Federation. I mean,
that's cool.
What?
I want him in my team. That'd be super fun.
Canada look all right.
Definitely. How much is he priced? In
7.
midfield?
7.
He's coming in.
Don't hate it.
There's my American, North American, North American, right? Yeah. North American done.
Alphonso Davies.
I'm not looking at USA players now. I'm looking at only Canada players.
Yeah, it's a fun team though. But I don't understand why they priced Larin over 7.5 and David 7.
Yeah, I'm interested in David.
Yeah, and also Buchanan for 6.5 is also a good price, I would say.
Yeah, he's a nice player.
Yeah, who plays? He plays in. Where did he play? Isn't it Championship or Premier League?
Derby was it? Who was that? At one point. If it's the same Buchanan that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, maybe. It's also funny because Ed Kugby is played for Vålerenga and Eliteserien some years ago, so he's done well for himself.
Yeah. I mean that's Canada covered. I don't think we're interested in the defence, are we? So, what else have we got? Croatia. Morocco. Let's cover off Morocco very quickly.
By the way, Abhishek, is Osorio a part of the squad because he isn't on the website?
Oh, Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just announced on Twitter.
But is Osorio is he part of the squad?
Rosario.
Yeah. Osorio. Yeah. Nice.
There. All right, Morocco. They could have a cheapy option in here, I feel. Hakimi is 5. Not bad.
That's cheap.
How much is here?
Wow.
How much is here?
5.
Really?
Ziyech is 5.5.
That's wow.
Boufal is 5. And Nesri is 5. It's not an awful. It's not a bad team, Morocco. I think.
Yeah, like the cheapest overall squad, I think, apart from those we had like discount. They have their most expensive player is Amrabat.
Certainly, yeah. They certainly rival Senegal in terms of having a African option, which obviously we need for Globetrotter.
Yeah. I like that.
I think I might start with Hakimi, personally.
Yeah.
Harit is another option plays for Marseille. He has been doing well. Harit, how much is Harit?
5.
5. So basically, if your Moroccan midfield is 5 and defense is 5, wow.
They're so cheap. I think they might be in a tad underpriced. I mean, Boufal has 3 goals, 3 assists for
so
Angers.
Hakimi, Ziyech, Chair, and Nesri. Who's the goalkeeper? Banu.
Yeah, 4.5.
Banu. Wow, 4.5.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know who's
seriously
the best
considering-
option, but there are options there.
Yeah, I'm seriously considering Morocco as my African representation.
I
of
think
the
I'll go
Globetrotter.
Hakimi. I think I'll go Hakimi.
Mm.
Let's see. But we've got Saiss as well. He's alright.
Nah, we're not going size.
He's 4.5, isn't he? But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright. Croatia
that's
then.
Morocco covered. Next, Belgium. Should we talk about Belgium or Croatia?
Yeah.
So let's first talk about Croatia. Then
That's
we will
funny.
talk about Belgium.
Yeah, like Joel just said like 10 seconds ago. Let's go Croatia.
Fine.
We can go Croatia.
Yeah. So it's
Croatia.
Modric or no one. Hey, Modric, Perisic or no one.
Well, we wouldn't go again. Modric is too defensive a midfielder for me in terms of like he might get the odd
How much
assist.
is? Let's check.
For
Perisic.
8 million, I'm not interested in Modric whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Perisic is better, I guess.
Salic.
He plays at
Alright.
yeah.
Go on, David. What were you going to say?
Perisic plays probably in midfield for and not defense for.
Yeah, but he's a midfielder on the game to reflect that. Brozovic is
7.5. Okay, there are 3 defenders that I'm going to mention now who can be an option. Juranovic at 5.5, Perisic at 5, Sosa at 5, and I think Gavardiol at 5 as well. These 4, look out for these 4.
I think I'm with you. When I look at that team, I think I'm not interested in any of those attackers, considering the other options we've got in the game. If I were to go for anyone, it'd probably be a defender. One of those. I'd need to see who starts. I don't really know who starts, but like one of those 5 million defenders that you just mentioned, Abhishek. If I was to go anywhere, I'd go where you suggested with one of those guys.
Kramaric is 8 million forward. Nobody's going there.
Nah.
No.
No, defense or no one then, probably.
Yeah,
Does Orsic play?
I don't know.
midfield.
He's 6.5. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
it.
he's 6.5 midfield. Vlasic 6.5 midfield.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Question: Lukaku, is he in the squad? Is he fit enough?
Yes.
I think he's in the squad, but he's been rumored not to start the first game.
He's in the squad, but I don't. Yeah, as David said, I don't think he should start.
Yeah,
I mean,
Belgium have
It
got Canada in their first game, which is a good fixture. So Batshuayi
Can we-
interests me. If Lukaku's
no, come on, no.
he's supposed to start
I
if,
have.
if Lukaku
No,
doesn't.
It's Jeremy Doku will start. I'm guessing.
That's not what
Really?
I've seen elsewhere. What I've seen elsewhere is that Batshuayi would start, and he's only 7. So I'm interested in that.
Martins
though.
and Doku interest me more than Batshuayi and Lukaku.
Don't know
To
who
be
Doku is.
completely honest.
Don't know who Doku is, honestly. Who does he
If you
play
want
for,
to put-
Abhishek?
Yeah, I think he played for Rennes in French league.
Yeah, if you want the bench option, you can just pick him. We can go Batshuayi. You can go Doku.
Yeah, so Lukaku's 10.5, De Bruyne is 11. Now, De Bruyne in comparison with the other premiums, I'm not massively keen. Are either of you guys keen on De Bruyne when you've got like Mbappe?
I think we're probably overlooking him because we want those 12 midfielders instead. He probably will do pretty well, I would guess.
2 players I will have my eye on from Belgium apart from the recognized one. One is Carrasco. Is he nailed on to start? And another one is Tielemans.
Would
These 2 midfield players.
Would Carrasco play wing back, or would he be playing winger if he
I
starts?
think they have enough defensive cover. Munir, Castagna, they have that wing back position covered, I guess.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't mind one of the wing backs because they're 5.5. That's not a bad price. It's just Castagna has some competition, doesn't he, with Mounier and stuff?
Yeah.
So
I think Castagna and Mounier play in the opposite ends.
But I'm wondering if Carrasco plays left wing back like he has for Atletico Madrid before, and
Mounier,
then Mounier and
if
Castagna are
that's-
competing for right wing back. I don't know.
Yeah, if that's the issue, then Mounier will start ahead of Castagna because he is much more attacking from the right hand side, bombing up and forward and supporting KDB and the others.
Yeah,
Especially at the Euros.
I like them both. So if either of them becomes obviously nailed, then I'm interested at 5.5.
Interesting to see Leicester defender Faiz get a call up.
Yeah.
Courtois can be an option if you're looking at your goalkeeper number 1 in both Gaffr, Sky, official, fan team. Courtois can provide you loads of points.
In summary, for me, it's if Batshuayi is going to play, I'm interested. I'm interested in a wing back. I'm not interested in the midfield. I probably won't go to point. I mean, David, what do you think? Are you interested in anyone in summary?
I don't know. I probably would consider De Bruyne a bit more than I probably would have and what I've been doing at least. But yeah, I'm Batshuayi, I think, at least.
Okay. In terms of who's gonna qualify, what are we thinking? Belgium and I'm gonna go for an outside pick and say Morocco.
Yeah. I'm going Canada.
Interesting.
So I'm going Croatia then.
Ooh, all four teams mentioned.
Nice.
We are all split. That's interesting. I do think that is an interesting group for that second spot. I think it's quite hard to call between those two teams. I like it. All right, 2 more groups to go. Group G is next. We've got Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Another one that I feel is quite open in terms of that second spot. I mean, where should we start here? Should we start with the main guys? Let's start with Brazil, shall we, for this one?
Yeah.
Oh, expensive defenders and keepers again. They've got a 7. Marquinhos is 7.5.
What?
It's got to be the most expensive defender in the game.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he is. He is the most expensive defender in the game.
7.5. He's not
Alex-
even a win back.
Yeah, Alex Telles is 5.5. It's Telles or someone who Alexandro, is that right? It's one of those two is going to play left wing back, and it's not clear. But Alexandro is a midfielder on the game, which I think is probably not a bit of a wrong positional choice from the Gaffr guys on this occasion. But it's just stood out to me that because Alex Telles is only 5.5, and if he is the one that plays, then I'm interested. But if it's Alexandro, then obviously not interested in him as a midfielder. Reverse out of position. Let's open up an interesting discussion here. Neymar or Vinicius Jr.? 2 million difference. Neymar's 12.5, Vinicius Jr. is 10.5.
Vinny, all day.
Yeah. Who takes penalties for? Is it for Brazil?
Neymar,
I think.
Yeah, Neymar for me then.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'm with you, Abhishek, on this one. The 2 million saving for Vinicius Jr. could be very useful, and I think he can do just as well. Even though it's his first World Cup, he's relatively inexperienced on the international stage in that sense. I like him a lot.
Yeah, and also I think if you're picking a player from Brazil, it's better to choose a player from Brazil who is assured of start, because they have lots of attacking players, the likes of Paqueta, Richarlison.
But yeah,
Vinicius,
Neymar starts though. No way Neymar not to start.
Neymar is captain, right? Thiago Silva or is Thiago Silva? Thiago Silva captain. Rodrigo, Gabriel Jesus, and
Richarlison.
who else here? Rafinha is also there. So they have Martinelli is also called up. Bruno Guimaraes is also called up. I mean, they have
That squad
lots of
is so stacked.
It is, isn't it?
yeah. There
So
are
much
lots,
talent.
lots.
It's like it
Yes,
feels like the 2010 Spain squad. If you see in that
yeah.
graphic,
They have
it's just like crazy. You have
lots of. I mean, I've last time I seen a talented squad from Brazil is when Ronaldo and Rivaldo were playing.
Mm.
They were so much stacked up on those players that they have. So it's like that. Hence, uh, it's either Neymar, Vinicius Junior, and whoever gets the other attacking spot.
Jesus at 11 million is expensive, man.
I mean, all their attacking players are expensive. Paqueta 10 million.
Yeah, that's
What?
But apparently,
Rafinha 9 million.
from what I've heard, Paqueta is very popular with the Brazil manager.
Rodrigo, the Real Madrid guy, is 10 million.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
this
United
team are favourites.
Anthony is also there. Anthony is also there. United guy 7 million. Martinelli 7 million. If Martinelli can nail, I don't know. Martinelli will not start for Brazil.
No. Don't even think about
Oh,
it.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, this team should win the World Cup. I feel. It's so
Yeah, I
good.
mean, from the players they have, so good players they have.
Yeah.
Such a talented squad.
some squads are just
I
going
mean,
on goal.
Allison and Ederson.
Oh.
It's Allison starts. Ederson is getting benched.
Yeah.
My God, what talent they have.
I wonder what it's like being in that dressing room when you've got two world-class goalkeepers and only one of them can start.
Yeah, from personal experience as a goalkeeper, it sucks.
Yeah, but
You want to be the one,
I mean,
and you can't. They can't have two. They don't like share.
I mean, I don't know. It's the norms that they have to call up 3 goalkeepers, but it's really hard to say that the third goalkeeper who is going to Qatar for Brazil, he doesn't get a look in any possible way.
that's just the life of
Alisson
third
injured
goalkeeper,
is-
anyway.
Yeah, both of them
Yeah.
have to get injured for him to even have chances starting.
Yeah, yeah. So
So they have to like either get like a red card and then the other keeper plays and get injured and then they sub him, or just like yeah.
Let's move on from Brazil because we've exhausted them. But yeah, it looks like Neymar versus Vinicius is not a simple choice, I have to say. And I feel like that's where most people will be at for Game Week 1 Globetrotter. Moving on though, we've got what have we got? We've got Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon. I'd like to just draw your attention to Serbia's strikers. Mitrovic is 8.5. Vlahovic is 6.5.
What?
Now that interests me.
Yeah.
The only thing that puts me off in terms of Globetrotter is they've got Brazil first game, so that's not ideal. But like Game Week 2 and Game Week 3, Vlahovic really interests me at 6.5. That's so cheap. I can't believe he's cheaper than Mitrovic. I would have thought they'd be either the same price or like Vlahovic would be slightly more expensive.
I quite like the Serbian team, especially I think I've watched their last game against Portugal in the Nations League, I guess, and where Mitrovic scored a hat trick. It against Portugal or against someone of relevance. That team. I mean, this Serbia team really plays well, and it's although Dusan is priced at 6.5, it's Mitro who will get the goals if he's fit to start. Yeah, if he's getting the goals, Mitro is the hitman because they lay it off from Dusan's head towards the feet of Mitrovic.
Okay.
They play 1-to-1 like that. At least in the last friendly game that I watched in television, I saw that they're like playing that way. They were starting. Both of them will be starting, but it's Mitro who has the higher potential to get the goals. So I think in that way you can say that. But taking nothing away from Dusan, I think he's a good enough striker to score those goals.
Yeah. I think I'm not interested in anyone else. I mean, there could be a cheap defender option in there. They're only 5 or 4.5, but I think it's got to be one of the strikers.
Kostic can be an option. Philip Kostic can be an option. 6.5 million.
Okay.
Does he play
He
wing
can be an
or
option.
wing back for? Serbia?
That's the question we have to ask because he plays wing back for Juventus. How he plays for Serbia. Tadic can be an option, and Milinkovic, the tall defender, 5 million defender. So these five can be an option from Serbia after the
Yeah.
Brazil game.
Hmm.
I will not be surprised if in the Brazil game, although Serbia loses, but they're gonna score some goals. I will not be surprised if they score some goals.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of potential options there. Again, it's a Europe spot on and not one of the worst European teams, but there's definitely something there. David, did you have anything else to add on Serbia?
Not really. Milinkovic Savic is 6.5. Which I guess it's okay.
He's on form as well.
He was good in wasn't the World Cup or something some years ago?
Yeah, 2018 World Cup Serbia.
I haven't really been following him after that, but yeah, if you say so, he's probably good as well. But like he doesn't play as far forward as others, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is. Cameroon, I feel like we should kind of skip over. I feel like there's probably better African options out there, unless either of you have anyone.
I've heard I think it was like a well-known player that said like the African teams were like one of the better teams in the tournament, but I don't know if that was like bias or something. But
from when we played the Super League, Toko Ekambi seems like a name from Lyon that we have. So he can be an option apart from Onana in goal.
Surely the main one has to be Choupo-Moting though, right?
He start.
It feels crazy to say it, but then doesn't he start? He surely
I
starts.
still can't believe he ended up at was it PSG? How did he manage that from Stoke to PSG?
He's done really well for himself, to be fair.
Yeah.
From
Most trophies too.
Stoke to PSG to Bayern Munich, and he's winning titles, playing second fiddle.
That's hope
You'd
for all
think
of
that.
us.
Yeah.
It's a
From
bit sad
fighting
to see.
from fighting relegation to winning, to be in a final of the Champions League to winning a Champions League. What a journey he has had.
It's like a Vardy-esque journey actually,
Yeah.
just better. Right, yeah, it's a bit sad to see Abubakar on the bench though, because he's like a well-known player.
He's the captain, and he should start.
Just like Mbeumo play.
No idea.
I've seen someone talk about getting him in.
Should we? Yeah, let's move on from Cameroon. I think.
Yeah.
Switzerland. I feel like there could be an option in here somewhere, and I'm particularly looking at the likes of Akanji, Rodriguez, and Shah in defence. One of those guys, because they're 4.5. The thing, I mean, I guess particularly against someone like Cameroon. The thing is, I think Serbia could very much score a goal against them. Brazil will probably score. So in terms of clean sheets, it's probably only Cameroon that we're targeting. Anyone else from Switzerland?
Shaqiri.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Sommer at 5's okay in terms of keeper. That's all right.
To be honest, I'm looking at no one from Switzerland because I don't know their coach. How will they play? I haven't watched enough games from Switzerland in the Nations League to say that there is an option there because their golden generation is slowly coming to an end. They need to produce good players now. I have seen Shaqiri for far too long. I've seen Xhaka for far too long.
Xhaka's doing well though.
He is.
No.
Yeah, he will be playing in central defensive position.
Doesn't he do that for Arsenal as well? He's scoring for Arsenal from central defense.
But he will not get that opportunity. He will not get that opportunity to score against Brazilians. That Brazilian side. Maybe Serbia, I can guess.
Switzerland aren't quite Arsenal, are they? Let's be honest.
Who takes penalties for Switzerland? Is it Xhaka? He takes penalties for.
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Would it not be?
Most probably he will. Embolo seems like an option. If you are really wanting to get a player from Switzerland, then Embolo can be an option. Apart from that, I don't think.
I'm not really interested in the strikers.
I saw
there
in
are other
the
European teams you can look forward to.
I saw in the group chat that someone was talking about Vargas over Shaqiri or something, but I don't know anything about him. He's 5 million, but yeah, it's probably like a bench option, I guess.
I'm not interested in the
Okafor
midfield or
can-
attack, definitely.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, Switzerland, as picturesque as Switzerland is as a travel destination, the football team is not that much picturesque, if I may say. So let's move on. I think if the top two from G, the second one is really open. Apart from Brazil, Brazil takes the top spot. But who are going to think is the second one?
Serbia for me.
Yeah, not
David?
Switzerland.
It's between them.
Not
So,
Switzerland.
Not Switzerland.
yeah, so it's either Serbia or Cameroon.
Cameroon, just to be different.
That's rogue.
Yeah,
I'd have them
Serbia for
bottom,
me
but
as well.
yeah, Serbia.
Yeah, Serbia for. I've seen their players play quite well. Then I haven't seen Abubakar. I've seen Abubakar very long time ago when I was yes, I was studying in college. So I think I was in last year of my school life. I've seen Abubakar play. He's still playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have one final group, and that is
That's-
Group H.
Yeah.
Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea. Shall we quickly cover off the worst teams? So Ghana.
Ghana hasn't announced their squad, but there are some options from Ghana.
Do you think?
If I can just quickly say, then you can look at Ayu, Andre Ayu. You can look at Thomas Partey. You can look at, in terms of defense,
Defensive again, a defensive midfielder though.
in terms of wing backs, you can look at Baba Rahman, and that's it, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, the Ayu brothers, if you're looking from Ghana.
I'm not interested in Ghana personally at all.
I mean, me neither.
Again, I just think like Morocco, Senegal, just better options in those teams personally from Africa. So I'll be going there instead. I don't think I'll be going Ghana. Although they've had some good teams in the past, Ghana.
Yeah,
in past World Cups, good memories of them.
One player, one young player that I will have my eye on is Inaki Williams of Ghana. If he gets selected, he plays for Atletico Bilbao in Spain.
Okay.
He looks like a really good player. So
Yeah, and he's like he never gets injured. I think he had some stat that he said he hadn't missed a game in like 200 games or something.
no, that's his brother. That's his brother who plays for Spain. This Inaki Williams is his younger brother.
Okay.
Who is,
Yeah.
They have different nationalities.
Yeah, I think the big brother plays for. I think the younger brother plays for Spain. The big brother plays for Ghana.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's Ghana gone. There.
South Korea, it's Son or no one. If you need an Asian player, you could go for him. But again, it's like, is he going to be back fit?
Yeah, I think he posted on Twitter that I'm going to World Cup. So I think he will be wearing that protective mask, like spectacle I wear. So he'll be
because it was just the eye injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, eye socket, fractured eye socket.
Yes.
Yeah, nasty.
Awful.
Yeah, so that leaves South Korea.
Okay.
Who was
Uruguay.
That's an interesting team.
Yeah.
Old team, old. That's not interesting. Old team, still
Not
Suarez and
so much.
Cavani
Just
is
the
there.
strikers. Okay,
They're gonna start, isn't it? They're gonna start.
This is like the last time This is the last time we will see Suarez and Cavani and Godin.
Muslera, Godin, yeah, this is the last World Cup, I guess we'll be seeing. I think wants to look forward, especially from in terms of young players, Pelistri, then Araujo, Barcelona central defense. Then they have, I think, another player. Hold on. where he is.
I
And to
mean,
go on with the thought process.
the one that
in
I'm
terms of
interested in that I have is Darwin Nunez. He's in my team currently at 8. I think Suarez is probably a no-go, 8.5 for me in terms of what he produces at the moment. He's not really what he once was. So I'm most interested in Darwin Nunez of Uruguay, and I don't think I'm going anywhere else. Although 5 million Araujo, I don't hate as an option.
And the one that I forgot to mention is Bentancur.
Yeah, he's been nabbing some goals for Spurs, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's so irritating. I have him in my anti team because I thought he wasn't a good player. He's freaking scoring every week.
Mate, have Tavernier. For past 3 weeks, he has been either scoring or assisting goals, and getting consistently 12 pointers from him. Why not keep him in my FPL?
Who do they play like a striker in the Uruguay? They have Suarez, Cavani, and Nunez. Who do they play out of those?
Gotta play Nunez.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Does Cavani play?
I mean, he could.
Only fast change. Suarez and this is their last World Cup, surely.
I mean, Suarez now plays in the Uruguayan league. Doesn't even play at a top league anymore.
He's probably well liked, so we shouldn't like write him off as a starter. Like he.
Although they both are 35 years old. By that time, the 2026 World Cup, surely this is their last one. They will be 40 years, so close to 40 years. Surely they can't keep their fitness. But who are we to talk about those fitness?
Yeah, it will be their last spell.
Yeah.
Our final team.
I think that covers Uruguay.
Portugal is our final team that we have not spoken about. I think there's a few options in Portugal personally. I mean, let's see. I mean, in my current team, I've got Leao because he's only 5.5, but he's a forward as opposed to a midfielder. So he could be slightly reverse out of position, but 5.5 is cheap, and I have seen him in a predicted lineup somewhere. So I think I'm interested.
The only thing is that he's a forward that kills a spot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I'm not interested. Go on, David.
Yeah, no, it's funny because like I did a prediction like when you put like who wins the groups and then they go into the round of 16 and then you pick like who you think wins then and then you end up with the winner.
Yeah,
and in that one I got Portugal as winner
of the whole World Cup.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
I think that was like probably faced like Brazil or France in the final, but it could be like one of those two as well. I probably underestimated Brazil a bit after talking about this now. I feel like they have a much better squad, but yeah.
I mean, this is a strong Portugal team. I'm not interested in Cristiano Ronaldo, although I do think, because he's 10 million, although I do think he will still play a big part for them. It's defence where I'm quite interested. I mean, Cancelo at 6, he should mop up the bonus, but he's quite expensive. But even then, like Dallo or Guerrero, whoever might start there, is 5 million.
Yeah. It's crazy that Cancelo is 6 million and Marquinhos is 7.5.
Yeah.
He's so much better.
Yeah, I am keen on Portugal, and I'm sure I'll have one of their players at the start. Particularly defensively, I think.
I don't think Dallo will start, although he can play at left back. But I think Guerrero and Cancelo will be the wing back, will be the full backs. In terms of forward, I think Leao is the number one option in terms of price, because nobody is going for Cristiano Ronaldo for 10 million, especially if he hits up a spot. And with the likes of Messi, Neymar, everyone is going for Mbappe. And there is no place for Cristiano Ronaldo in anybody's squad. Another player that really interests me from Portugal is, hold on, let me get his name. Is whether Bernardo Silva plays or not.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And then there's Bruno Fernandes at 8, although, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
is he a bit deeper for Portugal?
Yeah, he plays a bit deeper. Sometimes it really depends on which formation they start. Sometimes I've seen him play at number 10. Sometimes I've seen him play in the same position with the two ahead of the defense. So his position really depends on whatever team Portugal is playing. One, so I'm not bothered about Bruno Fernandes. The one thing I'm bothered about is Bernardo Silva, where he plays, because he's kind of a floater player in that squad. So I really want to see how Bernardo, because I'm willing to spend that extra 2 million from Leao and jump up from Leao to Bernardo if Bernardo starts regularly.
Yeah, they're quite nicely priced, aren't they, Portugal? I feel like they've been priced a bit lower than some of the other kind of top teams that would be expected to go far. So I do think they're an interesting one. David, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, I'm not interested in Fernandes at least because
No.
like in the same way as they have at Manchester United, he's not on Pence there either. Must be not nice for him. Yeah, I don't know. Because this isn't Sky, Palhinha isn't really an option for this game. But yeah, he's a good player, at least. So that helps. Portugal assets that he can like mop up all the like tackles and interceptions. But yeah, they have many good like defensive midfielders in this team. That can be important. Ronaldo is like he's a big tournament player. He can he almost always surprises us because we think he's too old. He won't, and he just like almost gets top scorer every time. It's a bit like Messi, and we will. I think I hope like people don't continue the discussion who's best, like because we don't know. Maybe this is the last time we see them in the World Cup.
It's his last bow as well, isn't it? Really, both Ronaldo and Messi. So we've got to kind of appreciate that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we get a boost like Limitless that we get in USL Fantasy, then only Cristiano Ronaldo interests me.
Yeah.
Because there will be certain players who will be facing tough opponents in match day 2 or match day 3. So that way we can get to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Have either Ronaldo or Messi won the World Cup? They haven't. And Ronaldo hasn't.
No,
so one of them has to win it. One of them has to win it to be like.
Ronaldo has won Euros. Messi has won Copa America.
So they're like even now in like
tournament. Yeah, in terms of secondary trophies, in terms of internationally, this is the main one that they haven't won. And Argentina lost in the final. Portugal haven't been in the final.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't think any of those teams will win anyway because Brazil is so strong. But like, it's a bit interesting in a way.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Anything else to say on Portugal, or are we done?
Yeah, I think we are done. It's Portugal winning the group. Who gets the second?
Probably Uruguay, just about.
No, I'm thinking South Korea will get it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Uruguay as well. 1 second.
Cool.
It's a 2-1.
Well, that is all 8 groups previewed. So that's it. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the World Cup. By
the way, before we go, should we like give our prediction for like the winners and third best?
Sure.
Let's pick our semi-finalists and final, and who will win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't done a bracket, but I'm going to say Brazil, France final. Because they're on opposite sides of the.
Who is winning? Who is winning then?
Brazil.
David?
Oh, yeah, I like need the brackets to see who can like face each other because there's some teams that can't like face each other in the semifinals or something. But I think can't Portugal and Brazil face each other?
I'm not
guess
sure.
I can.
I need to see a
Yeah.
bracket, 'cause even now I'm doubting whether if Brazil and France top the group, would they
Probably
meet before the
quarterfinal.
final? So I don't know.
Quarterfinal, they're gonna meet
Ooh.
if there is no upset.
Mm.
I need
Yeah,
to check the
I don't know.
bracket, honestly. So
I would agree with you, then, Joel, because France and Brazil are like the top ones. It's more like
Okay, so
the last finalists is like semi-finalists and
okay, so Brazil is winning the final. Joel, David also. Brazil is winning the final. Yeah, probably it will be a clean sweep. I'm also thinking that Brazil is the team that's winning this final.
there we go. Pretty
In the World
unanimous
Cup.
then.
Yeah, it's
Very
too
exciting.
talented. That squad is too talented enough
Mm.
to not at least qualify for the final. I mean, it will be a miracle that they will not be in the final.
Yeah.
One thing could be
If they
like
play
there are so many
their
like personalities in the team that they can like take a bit for too much space from each other. I don't know how well they fit together with
I
all
mean,
those like strikers.
imagine there will be 5 subs. Imagine Brazil playing with 7 attackers, chasing a game. They're stuck at 0-0. 70 minutes gone. They put 7 attackers, all the attackers. I mean, really, it will be lottery to see whoever got there. Brazilian. When we were going to watch it, we're gonna don't score Gabriel Jesus. I don't want you.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be pretty crazy. Yeah, all those players all on the pitch at the same time. Amazing. Well, hope you guys have enjoyed these World Cup episodes. We'll be back with more World Cup stuff once it's all kicked off. Not sure exactly when, but we'll figure something out. And yeah, that is everything. And hope you guys enjoy the World Cup. It's going to be strange, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure the excitement will kick in at some point.
Let's find positivity in whatever situation that we are in. So let's have a decent World Cup for all those people that are living in Qatar, so that they have a good thing out of this all those tragic events that have taken place in the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right. Have a good one, everyone. And all that remains to be said is goodbye and see you next time. So it's goodbye from me.
Ha det bra.
Namaste from me.